All right, I want to talk about the topic of evil. All right, um, evil. Where did it come from? You know, what is it? But you see, we can't really talk about what's going on now. We have to go back to the root in order to fully understand what is going on now. Because that is what a lot of people is doing now in this day and age. They are not going back to the source as to why so much is going on in the world. Well, they are fighting the flesh and blood. They are taking out their anger on innocent people. Okay, when the people are not even the problem. Understand? Those The prison cell right now is filled with people who who were victims. Okay, by by evil. Okay, and they don't even know it or didn't even know it. Some of them do now, but the problem is not with our brothers and sisters. This is not a black and white thing. It's none of that. It's not a race issue. In God's kingdom, in God's eyes, He doesn't look at us as you being black or you being Chinese or you being white. It's none of that. So cut that. That's nonsense. Okay, it's the root. Okay, now we're gonna let's moonwalk all the way back to the root. The root is uh they're you know in heaven. It all started in heaven with a very high powered angel that God created to be in charge of all of the other angels. Okay, and this angel that God created, his name was Lucifer. It wasn't Satan at the time. It was called Lucifer. Okay, an angel of light. Um, so Lucifer was a very awesome. He was an awesome angel. He was beautiful. Understand? And he was in charge of music when he walks. You know what I mean? His body would make music, and he was just doing his thing because that's the way how God made him to be. But he still had his own will. He could do whatever he wanted to do. Every single created being, both in heaven, on earth, and under earth, they all have their own free will. God didn't create robots. Okay, so Satan had his own. Lucifer at the time had his own will, that choice. He could make a choice to follow follow God's lead and deal with God. But Lucifer, what he did was uh, he looked up on himself, and he realized that he needed some glory. He wanted to be all that and a bag of chips. He wanted to be on top. He uh he he found, he became prideful, uh and so God knowing everything, already know what's going on. And Satan told God that he wanted to destroy his kingdom. He want to overthrow his throne. And it doesn't even make sense, because if God created you, why do you feel like you can take his throne? So now Satan was just too prideful, and a war broke out in heaven. And there was another angel who was also powerful and mighty, and he was Michael the archangel. And so Satan and Michael got into it, and Michael whooped him, and smooth kicked him out of heaven. Now Satan fell from heaven like a lightning, like he smooth. He was gone. Okay, and so now he was just lingering in the atmosphere. Okay, because it's a spiritual thing. Well, okay, he's lingering in the atmosphere, and uh, uh, and God now, the Lord, he created now a world, a world, and and placed, well, not placed. He created from the earth man. And he created man from the earth, from the dirt, formulated him. Okay, and when he was finished, he blew breath into him. Okay, and the man became a living soul. His name was Adam, and then God put Adam to sleep, and he created Eve, and Eve came, and then now it's Adam and Eve in there in the garden, and then Lucifer learnt about what was going on, and I forgot what it's called when like a puppet, and he was speaking. He used the snake to translate a message. Okay, now remember something. We are dealing with supernatural things here. So when you are in the flesh and you're dealing with fleshly stuff, you cannot grasp these things. Okay, so if you're just strictly panoplied in flesh and you refuse to step out of your comfort zone and understand these things, you will never get it. You will always try to find fault with what's going on. Okay, so the snake Lucifer used, to manipulate what what God has said to Eve. Eve did what, and then Eve capitulated. She gave in, and then she found a way to give it to Adam, and then Adam did that, and then when they both ate, sin came in the world, and then after that, then that's when things just started to fall apart. And even from back then up until now, in this day and age, the same effect of sin is just lingering inside of of people. You understand? So 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 how does one um conquer evil? How does one get rid of evil? Now, being that we know where it came from, okay. Um, See, you have to go to Christ. You have to go to Christ, because if you don't go to Christ, so that Christ can teach you these things from His Word and make it alive in your life, then you will be lost. You will be confused. You know. So you have Christ is the only one, because He already destroyed Satan and his evil forces and everything. But it's just we now who have to go to Christ and accept His love in our heart and accept His forgiveness in our heart and just move on from there. You understand? So that is how one can conquer evil, by going to Christ. The cross, and just leave all of our sins there, and then we deal with it. You see. Now, also, the thing is this: evil is an influence. Okay, it is an influence. The things, see, all of us on this planet, on this earth, are being influenced one way or another. Okay, some of us are being influenced by the music that we listen to. Some of us are being influenced by the things that we watch on TV. Okay, and it gets stored up into our thoughts, because our brains are like sponges. Anything that that it sees or it hears, it sucks it in and it absorbs it. Okay, and then you carry out everything that you are that's in there, that you you feed yourself on by nature. It's just gonna be natural. Whatever you watch, whatever you listen, whatever you, all those things that you take in, it becomes you. Okay, so if you listen to rap music all the time, and you watch porn all the time, and you watch uh gangster movies or crime movies, like violence all the time, those things influence you to 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 be evil. Okay, and it's not normal. It is not natural. It is Satan behind the scene, working in people to make these things, and have it spread throughout the world. And that is how he works. He is evil. Okay, and if you don't recognize these things, okay, you are gonna be used like a puppet, and you won't even know it. You understand? Because nothing happens in the spiritual. No, nothing happens in the physical without something first happening in the spiritual. Okay, so if you don't understand the spiritual world or the spiritual things that's going on in the Bible, you are going to be a puppet, and you won't even know it. Okay, so one has to go to Christ. If you go to Christ, Christ will step in your life and give you new desires, new thoughts. Okay, that's why the Bible says, "Be ye therefore transformed by the renewing of your mind." Your mind has to be transformed and renewed. Okay, if you're gonna go to God, and the things that you used to do, you just can't do anymore, because darkness and light can't mix. So when you have light on the inside of you, okay, and you try to go back to darkness, it's not gonna feel good. It's not gonna feel good. It's gonna make you. It's gonna turn you off. Okay, which is what's happening to me. I like. I can't. I honestly have a hard time turning on the TV. I don't even want to turn on the TV, because if I turn on the TV, I might see something that is going to disturb the light that is inside of me. The Spirit of God that's on the inside of me. I'm very careful when I turn on the TV, or turn on the radio, or even going outside, because going outside, that's the battleground. That's where things happen. Okay, so I mean, but I mean, I do have the power, whatever, to go outside and whatever. I can do that, but um, that's not the point right now. We're talking about evil and where it came from. So yeah, so Lucifer fell from heaven, and then that's when his name became Satan. Okay, and he beguiled Eve to mess up against God's plan, and now don't get it twisted, don't get it confused. Um, Adam and Eve were perfect. They had no knowledge or understanding as to what it's like to be rebelling against God. They didn't have an understanding what it's like to be on the other side. So that's what led their curiosity to go against God, and they had their free will. They can choose God or not choose God. Okay, so and I thank God for that. I thank God for the free will that he gave each and every one of us. Okay, so that I can choose Him. Well, He chose. I can choose to worship Him. Okay, I don't have to, but I have to, because if I don't, I I will be, I will be, I'll be no good. I'll be no good. So I really give thanks for Christ, and that's it. I just wanted to share something about evil.